In the dark corners of space, where stars are just faint memories, the galaxy learned to fear the Xylons, an alien race with godlike technology and a lust for war. They swept through countless star systems, leaving only submission in their wake. Years ago they turned their gaze to Earth, expecting another easy conquest. What they found was a fight that broke their armies and ignited a hatred that would span generations. Captain Marcus Drake wasn't your typical hero. He wasn't a decorated admiral or a master strategist. He was a salvager piloting his old ship, the Resolve, far from the front lines, making a living off the wreckage of forgotten wars. His crew was small, a tight-knit family cobbled together in the void of space. Then came the job that changed everything. A routine salvage mission led Marcus straight into the ruins of a Xylon scout fleet. Buried in the debris were data cores, and on them, a terrifying secret. The Xylons weren't just raiding anymore. They were gathering a fleet so massive it could swallow every human defense force whole. And they were heading straight for human territory. Human Command saw the data and preached caution. The threat was too far, the intel too uncertain. They ordered Marcus to stand down. But Marcus saw more than just numbers. He saw the ghosts of fallen worlds, the faces of colonists living on borrowed time. Ignoring direct orders, he pointed the Resolve toward the nearest outpost, the Oberon Belt, to sound the alarm and, if needed, to make a stand. When they arrived, the bustling station was hauntingly silent. Their sensors screamed. A fleet of 1,000 Xylon dreadnoughts hung in orbit, a wall of metal and death. They outnumbered the Resolve 1,000 to 1, not just in firepower but in every conceivable way. The first clash was a nightmare. A single Xylon disruptor beam could gut the Resolve. Marcus watched as station defenses were swatted aside like toys. Xylon ultimatums echoed across every channel, demanding surrender. But humanity has never been good at kneeling. In that moment, Marcus made a choice that defied all logic. He wouldn't fight them head-on. He would fight them with pure, unadulterated human ingenuity. The Resolve unleashed every drone it had: scouts, decoys, fighters, sending them out in ghost formations that scrambled Xylon targeting systems. With a breathtaking feint, Marcus lured a chunk of the enemy fleet away, tricking them into thinking the Resolve was a much larger warship leading a surprise attack. Every second was a lifetime. Marcus's crew moved with an instinct born of desperation and trust. They exploited tiny flaws in Xylon sensor code, used the aliens' own data to sow chaos in their communications, and even turned the Resolve's engines into makeshift weapons, creating energy waves that sent enemy drones spinning into oblivion. The Xylons were masters of strategy, of order, of precision. What they could never prepare for was chaos, and humanity wields chaos like a sword. Marcus didn't play by their rules. He shattered them. Hiding in asteroid fields, his crew timed their missile strikes with impossible precision, turning tiny human warheads into ship killers that crippled massive Xylon cruisers. Captured Xylon pilots would later describe the human fighters with awe and confusion. They said the humans laughed as they flew into suicidal maneuvers. They didn't see fear, only a relentless, joyful defiance. Every time the Resolve seemed cornered and doomed, Marcus and his crew would pull another rabbit out of the hat. Another insane gambit that turned a sliver of an advantage into a devastating blow. After hours of brutal, relentless fighting, the tide began to turn. The constant disruptions, the unpredictable multiple tactics, and the sheer audacity of the Resolve started to break the Xylon lines. As sensor jamming signals cascaded through their fleet, the once perfect Xylon armada fell into disarray. Ships that had formed an impenetrable wall now drifted like wounded giants, easy targets for the remaining human drones. In the end, it wasn't technology that won the day, it was guts. It was the stubborn refusal to accept defeat, even when facing impossible odds. Marcus Drake didn't just fight a battle, he embodied the wild, creative, and unbreakable spirit that defines humanity. And when the Xylon commanders finally broadcast their retreat, it was a victory that echoed far beyond that one-star system. The Resolve was battered and scarred, but it survived. The war was far from over, but this single battle became a legend. It was living proof that one ship, guided by a crew with hearts of fire, could stand against 1,000 and change the course of a galactic war. It was a story that would be told for generations, a reminder to all who heard it to never ever underestimate humanity. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more tales from the edge of the galaxy.